Hey everyone, welcome back to Natural State. In today's video, we're going to recap the Frozen Toes 5K and 15K. We had a lot of Run Club members come out for that race. We did a little video about it. Check out the link below for that little montage. We've invited a few of our Run Club members, Daniel, Tyler, and Rachel, to come and recap that event and talk a little bit about trail running. So let's get into it. None of you have been on the channel yet, at least talking wise. We're all in like the montage.
Yeah.
So maybe just a little blurb about who you are.
Who are you?
Who are you? Like,
You don't know who you are. Yeah.
Say your name and say maybe a couple like races that you've done in the past.
Yeah, I'm Rachel. And then I'm a swimmer turned runner, I guess. Still a swimmer. Swim in college and stuff, and so we would run for cross training. Nothing too crazy or anything. And then after college, I quit swimming and started running just because there wasn't much in the town that I was living in at the time. And so I just would run on my days off, and I found myself running further and further. And I was like, you know what? It's been on my bucket list to always run a marathon, so why not run a marathon?
Yeah.
And so in 2018, that's what I did. And then it's just been on and off since then. But yeah, I did the half in Glacier National Park last year. And so that was an amazing race, and then I just kept going with it.
That's gotta be
ever
gorgeous.
since. It was
That's on my bucket
phenomenal.
list.
I recommend it. It was so well organized. Great aid stations, just beautiful views. It's gonna be really hard to top that, but
Only one person got mauled by a bear, so
Yeah.
great. Good odds.
Just don't be last.
Yeah.
Good motivator.
And I'm Tyler. I grew up running, playing soccer a lot, and so pretty much all like throughout school, I would always like do like cross country and stuff. And once kind of got to university, I fell off of that and it was just more like running on my own, but still kind of like wanted to do like some like races. So I did a couple halves. Then I eventually worked my way up to a full. And after doing the full, I was like, oh, that was rough. Let me tell you. Let's take a little break from this, maybe just a couple months. And then 2 years later, I realized I had to run. And so I was like, I should start getting back into this. And so I've just been kind of like working back into it since then, and just started joining this like run club as like a way to just like be social when I'm running, because I was like, I always just like ran on my own and it's kind of lonely.
Yeah. It's nice to be able to run with people.
Yeah.
Go see.
So it's just nice to have a little community, because that's one thing I always enjoyed about like running like in school, like growing up, is just that community around you.
Yeah.
I'm Daniel, and I love to run alone. That's how I started, out of anxiety. That's why I'm doing this. No, yeah. How did I start running? I grew up, playing soccer as well. I did cross country, and I am an anxious person, and so I needed to like channel that into something. So I just started running alone. I would like go on little hikes. I mostly trail run, and so I would like go on a hike and just say, well, if I can hike it, I can probably run it.
Yeah.
So just move a little faster.
Yeah.
I accidentally ran a marathon when I was in Germany because of the language barrier problem. So that was fun.
Very different ways to find a marathon.
And I'm friends with you idiots, so I'm part of this.
Sad.
Yeah.
That's how I found running too, is just a way to get away. And sometimes it's nice to be with your own thoughts, sometimes it's terrible.
Yeah.
Depends on the day.
Yeah. The community aspect of that is way cool though. Yeah, we all ran Frozen Toes a couple weeks ago. You all had run it before, right?
I did the 5K last year.
5K. This was your first time.
This was my first time ever doing a trail race.
Oh, really?
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. How did it go for you?
I mean, it was different than I expected. I mean, well, just because you're like, okay, like I've always like grown up like loved doing like national parks and like hiking. So it's like, if I can hike it, I can run it.
Exactly.
Like, what's the difference?
The logic
you just,
is sound.
You just move your legs a little bit faster. And it's like you
Yeah.
start and you finish faster. It's like what's the difference?
Yeah.
And so just like then you like start doing it, and you're like, ooh, I've been climbing for a bit right now, and I'm still going up. Like, what was this what I signed up for?
Yeah.
But it was really really fun race. Like it was really fun to do, and something I think I would like to do more of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And both of you have run the event before. How did it compare to any previous years or?
Well, last year I did the 5K, and it was the first time that I'd done a trail race. And I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
So went out and bought my first pair of trail shoes. But my goal was not to fall, so that was
How'd
accomplished.
it go? Okay.
Yeah, that was accomplished.
Good job.
So I got that out at Kohler and
Yeah.
a few of the other places. Compared to last year, like last year I couldn't even imagine doing a 15K trail. And so just seeing the progression from doing a 5K last year and just being completely sore in my legs and feet just being fully knotted from like the climb compared to being able to do a 15K this year and feeling great for the entire duration, like that was really nice to see.
Yeah.
So.
We'll level up.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the fourth time I've run it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And one of those was like during the pandemic, and so it was just, I think they did it virtually, and so I just went on my one day and did it alone. I also run Kessler a lot, so
Yeah.
like I actually ran it on Friday. The same, I think it was about the same course.
Okay.
So I'm used to doing it. Not as that. Usually I don't do it when I mean, the course was completely covered in ice and snow, and it's
Yeah.
not usually. And it was cold. It was cold. It was like that morning. It was like 3 degrees before we started.
Yeah,
and
it
then
was like single
18
digits
at the
almost,
time.
yeah.
It was still like wind chill like single digits when we started.
Yeah.
So I'm not used to running it like that. But it was good. I think this is the most people that I've ever seen there, which was great. I mean, they put on a good race. Fayetteville Parks and Rec does it, and they do a great job. So
Yeah.
I mean, and it was nice to have my friends there and like people to be like, because every other time I've run, I finished and then I basically just like go home. That was fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. And like don't talk to anyone. So it was nice to have people there.
Yeah. Their amenities were pretty cool, I thought as well. Like free coffee, hot chocolate, chili, soup.
Yeah.
They even had beer too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just what you needed. Like after that race was done, it was just like I don't even like care how it tastes. Like it's just like hot. It was like
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had heaters. They didn't have heaters before.
Last year they
Last
had
year.
heaters.
Did they?
Yeah.
Wow. I
Yeah.
blocked that out of my I really didn't. I honestly did not stick around. I was just like, okay, I'm good.
Like man should have won it before the race. It was like, okay, I'm on the starting line.
yeah.
And then finished the race, kept on running to the
I
car.
ran home.
Well-
I ran home.
Because last year I came down with because last year I lived in Springfield, and so
Oh, yeah.
2 coworkers and we got an Airbnb in Fayetteville, and we came down last year. My 2 coworkers did 15K and I did the 5K,
Yeah.
and so we got there early because the 5K started later, but we got there early just to make sure we were
Yeah.
there since a couple of us had never been there before,
Yeah.
and so that's why I know there were heaters because I
'Cause you
remember
were-
standing next to the heaters.
Yeah.
And it was a lot colder this year compared to last year, but last year I was cold and I just remember being so thankful for the heaters.
Yeah.
The cold and the ice was very different.
Yeah.
different
It's always. I
different.
feel like it's always a little bit frosty or muddy, but
Last
this
year
is the.
was super
It was so muddy last year, but this
Mhm.
was the first time where it's ever been like thick ice.
Yeah.
On the,
It was
on the trail.
frozen.
Like there was ice
Yeah.
and snow everywhere.
How did you decide to handle that ice and cold?
I had my big dumb legs out, so no, I didn't really prepare for it. I mean, I just did what I usually do. I was like, well, I guess I'll just, I've always had like gloves, and then I had like 3 layers of shirts on, so you could have stabbed me and I wouldn't have felt it. And a couple people did, so that was fun. But
What?
no, I didn't. Yeah, and I just wore trail shoes like usual.
Okay.
And just kind of hoped for the best. I did fall once, I think. You fell a couple more times.
Yeah, just a few. Just a few. It's fine. Yeah, so my planning was, it's just gonna be cold. It's gonna be fine. I'll just put on a hat and gloves. We'll be all right. I'll just wear my normal running shoes. We'll be good. And then about a mile in, you figure out, I was like, maybe I shouldn't run in the center of the trail because that's where all the ice is. And so then you start to be like, okay, I'm just like running kind of on the outside on the actual like snow. So it's like a bit more like something to sink into.
Yeah.
But as far as how that helped for not falling, I mean, I'm for sure it did. I'm sure it helped people, but no, I was just going. Like, I remember getting to like the first like station where there was like someone standing there being like, "Oh, there's like a patch of ice here.
Mhm.
Like, make sure you're careful." And I'm just like, "Yeah, it's fine." Stepped on it. Just like immediately crashed, and like it's probably like a mile into the race. So, like this is where like everyone's like still like real bunched up. And I'm just like, there was like 3 people who got me there. Like, "You're fine." I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. Got back up, kept on going. Other times it's just like, yeah, like one came down on my like knee real bad. Another on like my shoulder. But you know, you just keep get up, you keep going.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Stop running?
How did you feel the next day?
Oh, I felt awful the next day. Let me tell you, I finished the race and I was like, okay, I'm a little sore, but I still got my like leggings on. I got my like my shirt, my like Under Armour thing, and 13 the blood flow a bit, so I'm not feeling it yet. And then I got home and it was like the rest of the day I was hobbling just a little bit. I remember I tried to like raise my knee and be like, oh nope, not that far. Yeah. Eventually wears off.
Yeah.
So it was fine. It was fine after a few days.
Yeah.
I would recommend, you know, like PSA, be careful on slick ice.
I fell once, and that wasn't even on ice. I was just being dumb and twisted my ankle.
Oh no!
Yeah.
That was tough, but no, it wasn't bad on like you said on the sides. The ice was tough.
Yeah.
You kind of just have to
It's already like pretty.
mentally.
It's kind of a hard, just for the rocks and everything. It's a kind of a technical trail.
I mean, I wore layers and my running vest, but yeah, just dress like I would normally for winter. The only thing I regret is I wore wool hiking socks rather than my regular running socks.
Okay.
So, because I wanted to be warmer, and you know, I didn't want my feet to be really cold.
Yeah.
And so I made the mistake of wearing wool hiking socks, which caused quite a few hot spots on my feet and
yeah.
blisters. But yeah, wore my trail shoes, a couple layers, and it was fine. In regards to like the ice and stuff, but yeah, I definitely took smaller strides.
Mhm.
You know, I really didn't want to fall. I had gotten that out the week prior. You know, I had gone to Kohler and I had gone to Kessler as well, and like just did a preview of the trail. Yeah, I was like, I can definitely see this happening here. So we're gonna
Stick her up.
definitely
Okay, this is where I'm gonna fall. Yeah.
yeah, I kind of had like
Careful.
flash forward.
Yeah.
Okay, this could be a spot.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it was good, and then just like you said, going around the outside of the trail, trying not to, shorter strides. So if I did fall, then, I was, going down in one piece rather than flailing.
Hopefully
So.
catch yourself. Usually on trail runs for me, I get really hot just because of that elevation gain. But I don't know if any of you felt like you got too hot, because I had 2 layers on and I ended up taking like one jacket off, but then it got too cold.
Yeah.
It was a weird balance for me. I don't know if anyone else felt that or.
I think I went into it. I was like assuming something that was gonna happen because I know like whenever like I layer up, even just like for just doing normal runs, I'll get really hot real soon, and then I'll just like feel like kind of constricted in just my movement. I'm like, I don't really want that. And so I had like pulled off like one of my jackets before I started running, and like even then like halfway through the race I was like getting a little toasty, but it was nice because it was like I'd rather be like hot than just like freezing and just like unable to like move anything right now. So yeah, it's definitely like a balance. You gotta just kind of like figure out like the more races you do, like what works for you.
No, I like for my body to feel kind of like a convection oven, so I want to just heat that up as quickly as possible, and I can go through it.
Keep the
No,
muscles and joints
I'm not
warm all the time.
shitting it. You gotta come back and get it. I'm not dealing with that. No. Yeah. But then at the end, when we were standing there for a while, we gotta move. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Because it started. The sweat had been froze.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. With that, what's like, if someone who's looking to do this race, say next year, if you're going to do it again next year, what's one piece of advice that you would give to someone maybe looking at this race?
I mean, I think the 5K would be a great start. It's definitely, doable.
Mhm.
I would recommend it just to see if they like it. And, I do recommend like going out on a trail and just,
I don't let that be the very first
Yeah.
time.
yeah, just like see,
Yeah. I second that motion.
maybe something
Considering.
closer, like Kohler, or in the area rather than being road, but just get used to that mindset. It's just a different mindset because you have to be more aware.
Mhm.
The leaves could be slippery, like there could be rocks and roots, and just getting used to watching your step more
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But I think the 5K is a great first trail race at Costa.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. I mean, because I think like that is one of the big differences between like doing like a trail race or like a road race. Because like a road race, like I feel like you're constantly looking like I don't know, like 20 feet ahead of you. You're just like kind of like watching like the upcoming path because you don't really have to worry about like there being like rocks or just like roots or just like something that make you lose your footing. Whereas, yeah, a little bit of ice.
A little thing like that. Yeah.
Whereas like a trail race, yeah, you have to be looking like a lot more just like underneath you at all times just to be aware. And so just kind of getting into that like mindset by doing some like just like practice training runs would be really helpful.
Yeah, foot placement
Mhm.
when I was starting out was so hard to learn after a while. And again, like you said, like you're not looking forward, looking really like 3 feet, 4
Yeah.
feet ahead of you. is
Or
different.
even just like doing like uphills versus downhills, like how I need to like pace myself for this so I'm not like leaning too far forwards and like or just like losing control of like the speed like as you're like going down a hill.
Yeah.
I'd say definitely go out on a trail. Go to Kessler, check it out, see how you because you won't know until you're actually doing the trail like how it will be different.
Yeah.
But don't just have fun. Don't worry too much about it. Enjoy it. Yeah, take a second. Look at a hawk. It's fun. We're out somewhere nice and pretty. Like I don't know. Don't do it this. I feel like you shouldn't do it the same way as you do a road race. You should enjoy it a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's more fun, I think.
I feel like trail races are more casual.
Yeah.
I feel like road races, it's like, oh, I've got a PR. I need to hit these paces. I mean, trail races.
Party.
It's a party, exactly.
Half the fun is just like being
I
in the
know.
nature.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
like just being able to enjoy that.
Yeah.
A lot of times they offer food afterwards, as opposed to like the road races. They don't so much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yes.
beer, like
Yes,
dude,
yeah.
like-
Here's a beer.
Here's
Hang
a
out.
banana.
Oh, like this is
Go
the
home.
best thing ever. It's free too, so for the most part.
Yeah.
I do have to constantly remind myself to look up sometimes, though.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like I'm afraid of losing my footing. But I mean, like you said, you're out in nature. It's pretty neat to look up, see where you are sometimes.
For an ankle brace. I don't know.
I did get an ankle brace.
I always keep one. Actually, I always keep one in my car because I travel a lot, and so I just have one in the glove box that I keep in case because it has happened before. I've used it.
Yeah. I'm sure your ankles are like rock solid at this
They're
point.
they're gnarled.
At
Looks rough.
some point, you'll just get a metal one and then you're set.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm holding out for. You can Venmo me. You can listen. I'm taking
Daniel's
donations.
titanium brace.
Yeah.
We're only like 50,000 away from our goal.
Anything else you want to say about the race? Your experience there?
One thing I really enjoyed was them having that aid station at like the top of the mountain, and so like
Yeah.
as like you're climbing, like you get closer and closer, you start to hear like them like ringing in the cowbells. And you're like, oh, I'm nearly there,
Yeah.
rather than just like continuing to like trot along, be like, I don't know where I'm at, but I'm still going up.
Let's have like
It was a nice little
landmark.
motivator.
Yeah.
Um, and I really appreciated that because the first one was rough, first uphill, and then coming up the backside of the mountain as well. It was just like I needed this.
Yeah. I didn't stop at that. What did they have at that?
I didn't
Aid
stop
station.
either. I don't know. I think they just had like water and probably beer. And
I had the Gatorade.
Okay.
What color? Come on.
Blue.
Ooh, Arctic
Yeah.
Frost. I don't know.
It's a theme.
I don't honestly remember because I was following a lot of people. Were there like trail markers? Did they?
Yeah, it was marked. I think it was like I couldn't tell where the 5K split off though. when I was going. I didn't see that.
It was like a mile and a half in
Okay.
because the 5K was orange ribbons, orange arrows, and then the 15K was
The
orange arrows, green, ribbons.
Okay.
And so I was just looking for green ribbons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I didn't see the
Yeah.
orange and green. For me, it's just really difficult probably to see.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I didn't see any of them.
Camouflage.
It's just
Are you
great.
colorblind?
I am.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, and luckily I was just able to follow people.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I didn't think I saw
But there
any
was
signs.
usually someone there too
To
that said
direct you.
5K this way, 15K
That's
this
true.
way.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think
So-
that like the main markers were like when the normal like mountain bike paths or just like trail paths like would split off into different sections, but like in just like normal cases where it's like, oh, you should just be following where the trail should be. Like there weren't a lot,
Mhm.
and I think that's normally fine. But I know there was a couple spots where I was just like, okay, where actually is the trail at? Because like I like
Yeah.
nearly lost sight of like the person like in front of me, and I'm just like, I'm just alone back here, but we'll figure it out. Like wait, there's a little blue hoodie up there. Okay, I gotta go that way.
Follow the snow tracks.
Yeah.
Mark.
Oh, the times it was like the trail was so covered in snow, like,
Yeah.
and it was just all trampled. So I'm
Yeah.
like, is this it, or is this muddy path it?
I
I'm
sure
not
hope
sure.
I mean, I think overall, like the market was pretty good, and like they did have like several like volunteers out there just kind of like directing you on.
What'd you think about it?
I thought it was good. I mean, that was my first time running that race as well. I love the idea of getting socks instead of a shirt,
Yeah.
though, because I have way too many race shirts. I don't need any more of those. I constantly wear the socks. That's great. I didn't go to like Expo or anything like that, so
It was
Sure
just
what that
at
was
the. Theirs is more of just like a pack and pickup thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fossil Cove, right?
This one was
Or-
at the Parks and Rec department.
Oh.
So I dropped off some recycling.
Yeah.
Got my-
nice.
got my stuff.
Abominable Snowman or the Yeti.
Oh yeah.
I wish they had a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to just cause some chaos.
Yeah.
Or just like have like literally all the volunteers dressed up in one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe next year we'll
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
costumes. Thanks for
Incredible.
joining a little bit of a recap. Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Bye.